This video was filmed at an earlier date shortly after Mr. Beast's video was publicly released. Although the topic is no longer trending, it is still important to have these conversations regarding able-bodied and disabled people. Please keep that in mind when watching this video.
Before we get into this video, I just want to make a disclaimer to say that everything that I will be saying here today is not meant to be any level of disrespect or bashing Mr. Beast or anybody that was a part of this video. So I just wanted to make that very, very clear. And yes, let's continue with the video. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be talking about the one thing that is trending in social media and just in the world right now, which is the Mr. Beast video where he cured 1,000 blind people with their vision loss and helped them to get their sight back. So if you have things you'd like to add, please always, you can let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, okay, so I just want to start off by mentioning that I never really watched a lot of Mr. Beast's videos before. I feel like this is really the first time that I actually kind of like wanted to really talk about one of his videos or something that he's done. So this was a very interesting start for me. But overall, I think that when it comes to this video that he did, curing 1,000 blind people, their vision loss, my thought process may be a little different from other people, and I don't know, I feel like that's okay. We don't all think the same. So yeah, when I watched this video, number one, I had to have help with the descriptions of what was going on, so we'll get into that aspect of the video next. But to begin with, when I was looking at this video, no pun intended, but this video really was centered on curing older people's blindness. And there was only, from what we were able to see, there was like a total of two younger people that actually got their vision cured, their sight loss cured, and got their vision back. So to me, I felt like, one, I'm glad that Mr. Beast is using his money for something that can actually be beneficial for people in their lives. I want to point that out, number one, because I feel like there's a lot of people who are billionaires who don't actually care to actually focus on things that are important and to look into things that are happening to use their platform and their money for the better. So that's number one, because I think that we see it all the time. There's so many of them out there that exist. I'm not going to mention them, but their name rhymes with husk. So I feel like the fact that he is using his platform to do something good is a good thing, in my opinion, just because, I don't know, I feel like when we see celebrities, we often think, oh, there's all these things happening globally, but a lot of celebrities don't care to actually talk about it or to do anything about it. And so I just want to say that that's really important to me, that he's actually using his money towards something beneficial and his platform. The second thing I want to talk about in regards to this video is the fact that when I was watching this video, my assistant and my friend, she actually had to describe to me what was happening on the screen. And this is a kind of a red flag for me, just because you made a video talking about curing blind people and their vision loss, but yet you didn't put any sort of descriptions for blind viewers that could possibly be coming across this video. And I'm sure there were many of us. I'm not the only blind person that came across this video. So this leads me to my next point, and that is that blindness is a spectrum. Hello, I say that in every video probably. But blindness is a spectrum. So my eye condition is optic atrophy, which means that my optic nerve was damaged, and this can happen due to a variety of different purposes and reasons, such as tumors. So for me, when we're talking about how much a person can and can't see, I think that in society, a lot of people view it from the perspective of all the more commonly known conditions. And so when you view it from that perspective of only looking at the more commonly known eye conditions, I think you're also leaving out other people, because let's think about it. There's so many eye conditions, and I know not everyone's gonna know every single eye condition, but the more commonly known ones that people are talking about and that people will always seem to talk about is Stargard's, cataracts, glaucoma, retinitis pigmentosa. There's so many different levels of blindness. And so I feel very strongly towards the fact that a lot of the people in this video had those specific type of eye conditions that I mentioned. Like, I know one of the people in the video had cataracts disease. And so I think it's just important to learn more about the other eye conditions that exist. So I just want to say that. Although I can appreciate what Mr. Beast is doing here, I also feel like in a lot of ways he's trying to play the role of God. And like I was telling Marina, I feel like if there's blind people out there that really and truly want to get their vision loss cured, you do you. So because I feel like the way that this was done, again, please don't come for me. Please. If you are a Mr. Beast fan, please, on everything, do not come for me, because what I'm going to say might offend some people. But again, I appreciate the fact that he's using his platform and his money for something that could really, really be beneficial for these people. However, I feel like maybe, and sure, yes, a lot of these people volunteered for this, but I also feel like in my situation where I can't necessarily have my eyesight be cured at this moment in time, that would be something that would be really tricky and difficult, considering how I lost my vision. And so I think that, again, it goes back to whether or not people want this to happen for them, whether or not they choose to get their vision loss cured. And I feel like if you do, then props goes to you, because I think that for me, one of the things that I've always said is that I would possibly want to get my sight back, but I wouldn't want to have it back forever. And a lot of people think that I'm crazy when I say that, because they're like, oh, so you would never want to see again? And I don't know how to feel, because for a lot of my life, I've been blind. And that's what I've accepted, and that's what I've learned, and that's what I've known. For me to get my sight back, even for 48 hours tops, I feel like I would be really grateful for that experience. Simply due to the fact that there's so much in this world that I want to be able to see. I don't remember what my mother looks like. I don't know what I look like. I don't remember what my brothers look like. I mean, I don't know what my friends look like, but I guessed it in that video. And so for me, I want to be able to do all the things that I can't do as someone who can't see. So I understand where a lot of people in this video, why they made the decision to go ahead and get the cure. I remember watching this, and there was one kid that specifically mentioned that he can't drive. And that's truthfully something that I can 100% relate to. He said, since I can't drive, I feel like I have to rely on other people, or I have to rely on other things to get myself to, make plans and to go see people and to go do things. And so for him, I relate to that, because I feel like a lot of sighted people have the freedom to just get up and drive and go and not have to think about what their day's gonna look like, how are they gonna get from point A to point B, what is this like, what if this happens, and so the fact that he could be able to, and for me to be able to, if we were able to drive, if I was able to drive specifically, because he got his sight cured, and so I relate with that 100%. Because there's no feeling like, I don't think a lot of people realize how it feels to not be able to have that level of freedom, to just not have to think about where specifically you want to go. For me, my day is very planned out, especially on the times and the days when I have places to go. I would love nothing more than to get in my car at whatever time in the day and drive to Starbucks, or drive to my friend's house, or go to the mall and not have to think about it. Unfortunately, that's not the case for a lot of blind people like myself. And for me, and I don't know how many other blind people out there that can relate to this, but like I said, there's no cure in sight for me at this moment in time. And it sucks. And like I said, if I was to get my sight back, I'd want it for, let's change it from 48 hours to a week. Because I feel like I want to do a lot within that week. I want to be able to drive. Like, that's such a big thing for me. I don't know the feeling of getting in the car and just driving. Because for my own self and for everything I have to do, I have to rely on people to get me places, and I have to rely on services and accessible transit and the stresses that come with it, versus a lot of sighted people, whether it's people I don't know or people in my life, that can easily get up in the morning and not think about, oh, how am I going to get to my friend's house this morning? They could literally just get up, get ready, and leave the house. And for me, I wish that was an easier option. Unfortunately, it's not. And so when this guy was talking about the fact that he wants nothing more than to be able to drive, I felt that. I really, really, truly, genuinely felt that. Because, to be honest, and I'm going to get back to the video, but I think this is important to mention here. I feel like sometimes a lot of sighted people don't tend to realize that us as blind people, yes, we are independent, and yes, we can do a lot of things for ourselves. But having to ask someone to help you to get from point A to point B feels like you're being a burden on that person, and it feels like you're annoying that person. Even if they say that you're not, you still have this feeling within you that you're really being a lot. Like, you're too much for this person right now, and they could be doing 1,000 other things, but yet they're driving you here and they're driving you there. And so to me wanting to not be that person to people, regardless of whether they think it or they don't think it, I still personally, within myself, always feel like I never want to ask people for help. And this is why people, like, even Marina, for instance, right? Marina will come to my house and she'll be like, oh, do you need help? And sometimes I'll say yes. And I know she's doing it to be kind, and I really do genuinely appreciate that. But I will always find a way to be like, no, I'm okay. It's all good. I got it. Even if I don't got it. Because to me, I don't want to be putting extra, things onto another person to be like, oh, can you help me? But I also know the importance of when it's time to ask for help. And so this whole situation with this guy wanting to drive is relatable. So there's another thing I want to point out here, and it's the fact that I know that Mr. Beast has a very large following, and I'm pretty sure that a very large variety of his audience is sighted. And so it worries me that now more sighted people are going to start to think that every single blind person in this world needs to be cured. And I don't think that that's a good way of looking at things, because it's misleading. I've been asked before, well, why haven't you got a cure? Why don't you wear glasses that can enhance your vision? Because I can't see anything at all. Like, some of the people in this video had partial vision, so they were able to see certain things. There's other people in this community who, like myself, can't see anything at all. I have zero shadow perception, zero light perception. So I cannot pick up on light. I can't pick up on, shadows of faces, none of that. And so to me, what worries me more is the fact that these sighted people are going to start to look at blind people and be like, well, I wonder why that one never got a cure. Or I wonder why she doesn't, figure out a way to go and heal herself. It makes us feel like you think that our blindness is something contagious or that we're inhumane. We're a different species. And that's one of the biggest things that really worries me, is because I feel like the way that a lot of sighted people, I'm not going to say all, a way that a lot of sighted people look at people who have disabilities is those people are not capable. They can't do this. They can't do that. They're not going to be able to amount to blah, 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 blah. And so for me, it's just like, I appreciate the fact that what he did was really beneficial for a lot of these people. And I'm grateful that they were able to get that opportunity, and grateful that they were able to experience being able to see again. Again, I would love to be able to see at least for just a week. But then you could take my blindness back. I mean, you could give me my blindness back. I feel like what I would want, though, this is funny, because I feel like what I would want is like, let me see once a week, once a year. You know what I'm saying? Like each year, randomly pick a day or a week and just let me see. Anyways, but that's the only thing for me. Like, I don't feel like anything needs to change for me. I'd want to drive, I'd want to experience and look at things that I can't look at now. There's a lot of scenic things in this world, and as someone who loves to travel, I would love to be able to see those things. But I also feel like sighted people are going to continue to be like, oh, she should really be cured. And why didn't she go and do this thing to help herself to see again? And even so, like, I've heard this before from not just from myself, but that have been said to other people in this community, that a lot of sighted people always turn to blind people and be like, if I was you, I would unalive myself.
He was like, yeah.
Yeah. Felt that.
Felt that.
Oh my god. So we're not laughing at the fact that I just said that people would unalive themselves. I'm laughing at the fact that this guy, I don't know, maybe you guys heard it, but this guy literally was like outside and he's like, anyways, back to what I was saying. But yeah, it's scary to think that people really feel like because I can't see, I need to like go ahead and harm myself, or I need to do something because what a tragedy, she can't see. Wow, we all need to pity her. And I look at it, no pun intended, but I look at it from the perspective of like, well then, maybe it's a good thing you're not me. You know? Like, I wouldn't want you to feel like you have to do something like that just because you're hit with a circumstance and it's gonna take you a while to accept it. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of blind people, I don't know how many, but there have been blind people who have mentioned before that they experienced suicidal thoughts at one point in their life when they were going through their sight loss journey. And so I think that it definitely is a real thing, but I also feel like the fact that there are sighted people in the world right now thinking and saying to blind people, well, you know, if I was you, this is what I would do. I would totally unalive myself. Why? And so I think my whole concern is just that I don't want sighted people to continue to be like, oh, well, they cure their blindness, then why don't the rest of the world get their blindness cured? Because sometimes it's not possible for people. Sometimes it's not possible from the monetary aspect. Sometimes it's just not possible because of whatever eye condition they have. And sometimes blind people just don't want it. So please understand that this isn't just a way for me to be like, oh, this should have never happened. Because I feel, like I said, I fully 100% feel grateful for the fact that he was able to use his money for something good instead of using it for something that was useless. And I'm glad that there were people that were able to really benefit from this. But I really do want sighted people, and I know that there are some of you here on my channel, and I really want you to continue to talk about this with other people in your community, because I want you to understand that some people just can't do certain things that you see happening on social media. They can't go out and get their blindness cured. They can't, you can't just look at things from that rose-colored glass perspective, because everything is not just one-sided. It can't be all black and white. And I feel like that's the way a lot of people are maybe looking at it and taking this in. So please just be open-minded, understanding, and understand that, like, you cannot look at us and think, oh wow, really wish I wasn't that person. Because at the end of the day, you don't know what it feels like. You don't know what a blind person's lifestyle is like. And so I really want to stress the fact that it's important that you, as a sighted person, as you go out into the world, continue to educate people and be like, yo, if your friend starts saying something that isn't okay, you could be like, bro, that's not cool. Like, no, don't do that. Be the one to educate. Don't be the one to try to be like, yeah, let me agree with that, or be the closed-minded person. Open-mindedness is what is going to continue to help other people. And so just please understand that, yes, you see these things happening on social media, but not everything is black and white. Not everything is so easy for a lot of people. So I really hope that you guys don't come for me in these comments. Please do not start unsubscribing. I already don't have enough subscribers, okay? Thank you. But I just wanted to say that I really wanted to just film this video to inform you guys and for you to continue to inform other people that you encounter in the world, because again, this was never meant to disrespect Mr. Beast. I don't feel like I attacked him in this video at all. Yeah, and I feel like this would have been completely different if I was one of those people that was like, man, F him, but I'm not that person. So I just wanted to describe this so that you guys understand that this is what happened. But also, there's other ways of viewing the world, and I think that it's important to just talk about this, because I feel like in society we have a tendency to just see what happens on social media and take it for word. And this is just one blind person talking to whoever is listening. Just wanted to make sure that everyone understands that, yeah, you can watch these videos, you can see what happens, but also educate yourself. Realize that everything is not black and white. It's not all, rose-colored glasses. It's also the realistic part of what happens in disability communities. And so I really hope that you guys were able to take the knowledge from this video and understand that I was not trying to come at Mr. Beast in any sort of way. This was just me reacting and wanting to just, talk about it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!